think I'm that stupid? You've been lying to me since I've met you, Lydia ranted. Zach was about to say something when Lydia cut him off. Letting you out of that cabinet was a big mistake. One that I'll fix right now. Lydia then ran out of Celeste's room and locked Zach in there. You stay locked up in there long enough until how long it takes you to tell me what's going on and what is going on in this damn school, Lydia added. Let me out first and then I'll talk, Zach replied, but Lydia didn't respond. Okay, I'll talk first, then you let me out. My name is really Zach, but I'm not a teacher's familiar. Lydia began walking away as she was having another vision. I'm so glad you found time for me, Father. This view is breathtaking, isn't it? Celeste asked her father. It sure is, my daughter, Nathaniel replied. I have something to confess, Father, but please don't be mad at me, Celeste said. Hopefully that Nathaniel wouldn't get angry with her. Usually when you ask me that, Celeste, is that you know I will get mad. So no, I will not promise anything, Nathaniel said firmly. All right, Father. I just found a portrait of Mother in the basement, Celeste said, and that is when Nathaniel snapped. How could you? I have told you not to touch any of your mother's belongings, Nathaniel snapped at Celeste. I know, but I missed her so much. Elvandar thinks we so much look alike, we could have been mistaken for sisters. Isn't that true? Celeste asked, feeling down that her father snapped at her. Your mother is at peace where she is. Do not disturb her anymore. Now, if you excuse me, I have work to do, Nathaniel replied as he started to walk away. No, don't leave yet, Father. Stay with me, Celeste called out, but she sighed at what she has done. What have I done to make him act like that? Nathaniel was demanding Zach for the item that he has been waiting for. I've waited long enough. Give it to me now, Zach, Nathaniel demanded. Zach? Lydia said for her vision. She was seeing what was going on. Yes, Nathaniel, but why don't you take it yourself? Zach asked. Give it to me now, Nathaniel yelled as the orb was placed into Nathaniel's arms. Finally, no one's mind will be able to hide anything from me. What are you doing, Nathaniel? Zach asked nervously. Just like me. You never really knew my daughter. You are no use to me anymore. Now forget everything that has happened, young Nightingale, Nathaniel said to Zach. Zach Nightingale? Lydia was surprised by this. She then snapped out of her vision and then noticed she was somewhere else. Where did I land again? Zach, I have to... Oh, yeah. I locked him up in Celeste's room. I better be going before he breaks anything in there, Lydia said, until she walked to the laboratory when she saw an owl flying. Hey, that's the same owl that flew when we opened the door to the study. Lydia then walked into the laboratory to see Zach sitting in front of her. Zach? How is this possible? I'm sorry for the lies, Lydia, I did. I deserve to be locked up again. Zach sighed. You were right. I have been lying ever since I've met you. You did everything for me while I was lying. Zach, please, look at me, Lydia said. Zach, what or who are you? She asked. I'm not a teacher's familiar, and I wasn't a dragon either. I'm a human, just like you, Zach replied. Well, we'll see if we can find a potion to change you back into a human, Lydia replied. How did you get out of Celeste's room? I started to tell you everything until you walked away, and I started screaming and yelling out your name, but that was when I became face to face with the ghost of the school, Zach said, going on about ghosts being real again. Zach, there are no ghosts, Lydia protested to Zach, but Zach acted like he was being serious. When the ghost vanished and the door was open, I followed you, Zach continued, and then you were using the teleport pads and the controls to use them. Why were you trying to tell me that you were a dragon? Lydia asked, wanting to know about the dragon situation. I just wanted to be a dragon so everyone could stop laughing at me. Everyone laughed at me instead of getting to know me. It's always been like that ever since I was young. Dragons are beautiful, and everyone loves and respects them. So I thought that if I became a dragon, again, everyone will respect me, Zach explained. So, was it in your notebook we found? Lydia asked. Yeah, no one forced me to drink the potion. I did it myself, Zach admitted it. That still doesn't explain why you were locked up, Lydia stated, confused, as being locked up in the first place didn't make sense. When I drank the potion, I passed out, just like the one you did for me, and then I woke up in a dark room in the wooden case where you found me. The students laughed at me, and they left a few minutes after they said it was time to go somewhere, and I haven't seen anyone besides you since, Zach explained, and that's how Lydia it started to make sense. Why didn't you tell me you knew Celeste? Lydia asked. Because when I saw that you were a new student, I was afraid that you and Celeste would see each other again and forget about me, so I didn't say anything, because I hoped that we'd become friends, since you didn't know me yet, Zach replied with an explanation. What does you have to do with knowing Celeste? Lydia asked. Everything as soon as you found Celeste, you forget about me, so I said nothing about her, so you could forget about her. Now I know all the lies I have caused you to be my only friend. Zach sighed in shame. Zach, you know that you can have more than more friend. Even me and Celeste are back together. We could still be friends, Lydia said as she hugged Zach. Can you tell me what's going on in the school? I honestly don't know, Lydia. It must have happened while I was locked up, and it's so weird, Zach explained. We must need to find out what's going on here, and if we need anyone that they're in danger, Lydia stated. Okay, Lydia, I'll help you, Zach replied. Lydia had forgave Zach for all the lying to her. We better keep going. But from now on, no more lies. Just tell me everything that you know that could help us find the missing students, Lydia replied. I promise, Lydia, Zach replied. Then he saw the ship stuff for potion making. This is where I brewed my very first potion. Hey, let's see if we can make another one. Not now, because we need the things to make you a new one, or find out what's wrong with the first one, Lydia replied as she turned around. Then she saw a plate with writing on it. Zach, have you ever wrote this plate? She asked. Yeah, I've taken a look during this class. It says stuff and potions that could do things, but most people say it's all lies, Zach replied. Well, maybe if we could find out how it could be possible, it could help us, Lydia suggested. She and Zach then found the control rooms of the teleport pads. This is where teachers can control the teleport pads. There are times where the students can and can't go, Zach explained. So the teachers got a hold of this, and they can unlock which pads to leave open and which ones they need to lock, Zach explained. Then Lydia got all the teleport pads unlocked within a few minutes. Nice! You have unlocked the teleport pads, Zach cheered, as he and Lydia found themselves in an art classroom. Sweet, they have art classes in this school? Lydia asked. Yep, they have classes here in this academy, just like the class we do. All we had to do in this class is to paint something, Zach replied. Then Lydia walked over to the room, as Zach was scared and had to yell, Don't touch that! Zach screamed, making Lydia jump. Why not? Lydia asked as she got scared by Zach screaming. Why don't you want me to touch this button? Because I pushed it once, Zach replied, but that didn't explain the reason. So, that's it? Lydia asked. No. When you touch it, it has an eerie light, and a teacher screamed and yelled at me as he went to go quickly turn it off. Then he faced me with red and anger, and he said that he'll turn me into a frog if I was ever to touch one of these rooms again, Zach replied. Then Lydia touched the room that had the eerie light as she and Zach went to an area. There, they saw that there was 2 teleport pads, one yellow and one red. Maybe Nathaniel's office is in one of these teleport pads we take, Lydia said. I've used these teleport pads, Zach replied. Which ones leads to Nathaniel's office? Lydia asked. There is the red or the yellow. I get lost while I use these teleport pads. That's why I forget where I need to go, Zach said while shaking his head. Have you tried something to trick to remember your memory? Lydia asked. I haven't. Maybe it'll be easier for me if I go with you, Zach suggested. As he and Lydia went on the yellow teleport pad, they came across a footbridge to Nathaniel's office. I'm sorry, Zach, but we have to cross this bridge too, Lydia began, but before Zach cut her off. It's okay, Lydia. I'm fine, Zach replied. Are you sure? Lydia asked nervously. I am scared, but I'll be okay, Zach said as he followed Lydia across the bridge to find themselves in Nathaniel's office. Nathaniel, are you there? Lydia called, but there was no one there. No one's in here, Lydia. It's empty, Zach said. I wonder what has happened in the school before I got here, Lydia asked. No idea, but whatever is going on doesn't sound good, Zach said. Then Lydia looked on Nathaniel's desk to see a drawing of an orb. She picked up the pages that have drawings of the orb, but Lydia can't seem to read it, even with the circlet. I have found these drawings. They're about the orb, but I can't seem to read them, even with the circlet, Lydia explained. Let me see them, Zach said, as Lydia let Zach see the pages of the orb. I can't seem to read any of these pages, but they're in old magical language. Only archmages know how to this writing. I saw it. It was in my last vision, Lydia said. I saw you handing Nathaniel the orb. The orb! But you weren't there, Zach replied. I think Nathaniel's using the orb to do whatever he is doing with it, but it doesn't sound good, Lydia said. Then she and Zach got to another classroom, which is the observatory. Wow, look at this classroom. Yep, it sure is, the classroom. Welcome to the observatory. Zach welcomed Lydia to a new classroom. I'm afraid that I won't be paying attention to the teacher while looking at all this neat stuff in the classroom, Lydia said. She then looked around the classroom and saw another rune. She pressed it and it appeared with eerie light, and then she and Zach were about to head over to the secret library when the owl stole the caretaker's circlet. Hey, come back, you thief! Follow that owl! He stole the caretaker's circlet! Lydia called. Then the owl went right through the wall. Whoa, Zach said. He went right through the wall. Zach and Lydia then went through the wall to find themselves in some mountain. I don't see that owl anymore, Lydia said, as she and Zach started to look around, until Zach found the caretaker's circlet. I found it, Zach pointed out, as Lydia picked up the circlet from the ground. Good thing we found it. I wouldn't have gone that far without my circlet, Lydia replied. Is this truly yours? A ghost voice said, as Zach saw the ghost and the one that Lydia is facing. The ghost! Zach screamed. Zach, there's no... Ah! Lydia screamed as she and Zach tried to go upstairs, but they weren't going anywhere until they stood where the ghost was. I need your help, young ones, said the ghost. Lydia and Zach were scared of the ghost. Was real. Who are you? Lydia asked nervously. I am Grandmaster Nightingale. I was the one who built this school with magic. The ghost saw that Lydia and Zach were nervous. Don't be scared, young ones. I have never hurt anyone in this academy, Nightingale replied. But you're a ghost, Lydia said. It's true. My body died, and I am the ghost of this academy, which I have never hurt any students here, Nightingale replied. Do you know what's happened to the students and teachers here? Lydia asked. Someone opened the chest that they were not allowed to do it, Grandmaster Nightingale stated. Nathaniel forced me to open the chest because he wouldn't do it himself, Zach explained. That item should not have been removed from the chest, Nightingale exclaimed. We can't get up the stairs, though, Lydia replied. Zach can, but he has to be in his human form in order to get to the sanctuary, Grandmaster Nightingale explained. I see this metal plate. Is the doorway to the sanctuary? Lydia asked. Yes, but you need 4 items to open them, Nightingale replied. But how can we get them? Lydia asked. There are 4 hidden in the classrooms, and the spells to get them with the blue on the magic ball rings are Dragoness and Flariness, Grandmaster Nightingale explained. Once you have all 4 items, they'll help you get in the sanctuary. Dragoness and Flariness, Lydia repeated. Thank you, Grandmaster Nightingale, Lydia said as the ghost vanished. Well, we better find those items, Zach said. Well, let's get started, Lydia replied as she and Zach went to a room with a ball with rings on it. Let's see if the spell from Grandmaster Nightingale works. Dragoness and Fairiness. Then the spell started to move, and then Lydia looked at the board game. Is this another game? She asked. Yep, just like the Minotaur Mage you played earlier, but this game is called Dragon's Lair, and you don't need figurines to play. You have to move the dragon to its den, and when that happens, we can win magic items for the potion we need to transform me into a dragon, Zach explained. Well, it's working now that I have unlocked it, Lydia replied. Teachers have locked this game, and they lock it for students who unlock it for students who have spare time, Zach said, as Lydia began to play the game until she won. I want a bunch of roots. These are Albertson's roots, and we could use them for the make a potion, Zach said, as he and Lydia then went to Nathaniel's office and saw a boat in the bottle. Wow, Lydia said in excitement. This work is amazing. I love stuff like that. It must have taken years to make something like that. This is a neat thing. If you touch the bottle, we'll shrink and end up on the boat, Zach said as she turned to the ball in 2 rings. Dragoness and Fairiness, she said, as she and Zach ended up in the boats. But then they ended up going through a door, and they ended up in the mountains. A couple minutes later, they were in Nathaniel's office in the mountains, and they went back to the academy from the bottle. My eyes hurt, Zach said, as he opened the drawer where she saw Nathaniel's desk to see a painting of Celeste. A painting of Celeste, Lydia said. Then she took the painting and pressed it on the button on the side. Suddenly, the bookcase slid to reveal a secret teleport pad. Lydia, what have you done? Zach asked. It's a secret teleport pad, Zach. Let's see where this goes to, Lydia said, as she and Zach went for the secret teleport pad, and they ended up in a room where the roots were above them. Wow, look at this place, Lydia said, amazed by the room. I don't think we're still in the school. Lydia walked to the blue ball. Dragonus and Veridus. Well, this time nothing happened. I don't get it. Why is it not working? Maybe it's old and the magic isn't active on this one anymore, Zach said, as Lydia saw a note that was unfinished. Lydia picked up the note. Oh, this desk is really dusty. Only this note has seemed to be written recently, Lydia said. She then read the note and got a bad feeling. Lydia, what's wrong? Zach asked, got worried by the sound of the note, and Lydia picked it up and read it. It's this note. It's just, I can't believe it, Lydia replied. What does it say? Zach asked. Tell me, you're making me nervous. The part that caught my eye is this. Celeste, I am sorry about what I'm about to do, but I see no other options, Lydia said, quote-unquote what the note said. Who wrote it? Zach asked. Who else besides Nathaniel who could have had access to this place? Maybe he wrote it or something, Lydia said. I'm really worried now. What was he going to do needed for Celeste to forgive him? Lydia, be strong. Celeste and the other students still needs us to figure out what is going on in the school, Zach reassured her. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Let's keep going, Lydia said, as she and Zach went to the bookshelf to see the books that could not be touched. This is a cool library, but I can't touch the books. It's a ghost library, Zach said. Maybe I can ask Grandmaster Nightingale about the ghost books the next time I see him, Lydia replied. Then she and Zach went to the big ball that shows the herbal classroom, and she then walked over to the blue ball within the rings. Dragonus and Veranus. Then Lydia made the seasons change to fall, and she and Zach went to the floating islands. Wow! They built islands to float? Yup, this is called the Oracle. Many students have been here, and there's an amazing thing here that gives you a piece of moss with, Zach said, as he and Lydia did what they had to do to get to the Oracle until they were standing near the dragon picture. Now this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in this school. What does this dragon do? Lydia asked as Zach cut in. I wish to become a dragon, Zach said, as Lydia looked on her hand to find a piece of moss. Look, Zach, after you wished me to become a dragon, this piece of moss landed in my hands, Lydia said. Then she looked at the dragon. I wish to be back with Celeste, but nothing happened. Don't worry, Lydia. I'm sure Celeste and the other students are all right, Zach said. Then he and Lydia went to the laboratory and brewed a potion and turned Zach into a dragon. We did it, Zach, Lydia said happily. You're a dragon. Yeah, now I could finally catch that owl if we end up seeing him again, Zach said. And if we catch him, maybe he might know what is going on, Zach said, as he and Lydia then went through the classrooms, and they ended up in the forge classroom.